Hello guys, welcome back to Constorm. So today we are going to learn on how to load data from PostGIS to GeoServer. Last time out we set up GeoServer and Postgres. I'll leave the link in the description below if you missed that. So on my interface you can see I've already opened my pgadmin. So this is what we are going to work with. Also, I've been able to open my GeoServer and I have a few shapefile that I'd like us to load. So the first process is loading the data to PostGIS, creating a database, and then coming to GeoServer and publishing that dataset. So on my Postgres, I'm going to right-click on the databases, and I'm going to create a new database. Since I'm working with the paste, I'm just going to name it paste, and I'm going to save this. Once you have saved that, since you're working with spatial data, you're going to enable the PostGIS extension that we had installed earlier. Remember, that was the whole point of installing it. So under your database that you have just created, you'll see an option for extensions, and you can see it has not been added yet. So I'm just going to right click on this, and I'm going to create an extension as well. And I'm just going to search PostGIS. You can see I have it here. I'm going to save this. Once you have set up this, we are going now to load our shapefile. It's in a shapefile format to PostGIS, and then you're going to proceed to publishing it in GeoServer. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to come to the command, and I'm just going to search PostGIS. So this is the PostGIS bundle. It comes along when we installed PostGIS. So I'm going to open it. So once it opens, the first thing we do is view the connection detail. We are sort of connecting it to our data to our Postgres database. So this is the username that you entered when you're installing Postgres, and the password. So once you have entered the password, you're going to enter the database that you have just created. And I created, mine was called Pests, and I'm going to click OK. You can see it's telling me connection succeeded. So you'll proceed in loading the shapefile. This is the easiest way to load a shapefile to your Postgres database. So I'm going to add file, and I'm going to scroll. Mine is in the desktop. I have a folder named pastes, and I'm going to add one of these pastes. I'm going to add the band shapefile. I'm going to open this. So you can see it here. It's going to go to the public schema. A schema is sort of where we have the tables. So if I were to come back to my database, you can see the option for schema. And this is the public that we're talking about. And if you expand this public, you'll see an option for tables. And this is where this table for this band is going to appear. So I'm going to go back to the PostGIS bundle, and I'm going to edit. So this is the name of the table. I can leave it as default. This is the name of the geometry field. Leave it as default. I don't need to change it. This is the SRID. So I'm going to enter 4326 because that's the coordinate reference system for my data. And once I've done that, I'm going to import. So it's just going to take a very few seconds, and it should return a success message as well. And you can see shapefile import completed. So I can just close this and refresh my tables. And you can see I have a new table called band. So you can see we have successfully loaded our shapefile to PostGIS. And to verify, I can just right click, view and edit data. I can just view the first 100 rows. And what I expect to see is a few data sets from its attribute field of the shapefile. And you can see it has been successful. It has quite a number of attributes I see. And if I scroll to the last page, I should be able to see the geometry field as well. So this is the first step, and we've successfully loaded our shapefile to PostGIS. So the next step is going to GeoServer and publishing it. So in GeoServer, the first thing you do is log in. Remember the details you entered when installing it. This is my login details, and I'm going to log into GeoServer. So this is the interface of GeoServer. And when creating or publishing a layer, there are just a few steps that we need to do. The first one is creating a workspace, and then creating a store, then creating a layer and publishing it. And then finally you do the styling, and then you can now visualize your layer in whichever way you want. For in this tutorial, we will look in creating workspaces, stores, and layers. For the styles, we'll look it in the next video. So the first step we do, we create our workspace, and we can name it, we just add a new workspace, and I can name it paste. So the namespace URL, I can just maintain the name, and I'm going to save this. So once I've saved it, you can see I have it here. So that's our successful. The next thing is creating a store. A store is sort of where we are going to get our data from. And I'm going to add a new store. There's a variety of options, and since we are dealing with vector data, there's an option to load the shapefile directly from your folders, the local folders. But since we're working with PostGIS, I'm going to select the PostGIS option. And once I've opened that PostGIS option, I'm going to select the workspace that we just created, that was the paste. I'm going to name the data source name. I can just maintain at paste. Again, description I can maintain as paste. So under the connection parameters, this is where we set the parameters to connect this store to our PostGIS database. So my host is localhost, my port is 5432, and in any instance you change this port during installation, you can always enter the port number that you changed to, but I left it as default. This is the default. If you never changed anything, this should be the default port. The database is the paste. Is it paste or paste? Let me just confirm. Is the pastes. So I'm just going to ensure that that's correct. The schema again is public. The user is Postgres, and these are my connection details. These are the same login details that you use to log into your Postgres database. So once that is done, I can just apply this, and I'm going to save it once it's done. So save it again, and now you have your new store here. You should see it under here, paste. So that has been successful. And the next step now is creating a layer using now the store that you have just created. So click on layers, and once it's opened, you can now add a new layer. You have to choose it from the store that you have just created, and that was the paste. And you can see under that we have the one table that we just loaded for the shapefile for the band paste. So I'm just going to click publish, and once you are here, we are going to name these the name of the layer, the title. I can just leave them as default, and I'm going to go down to the coordinate reference system, and you can see I have it has already automatically picked the coordinate reference system for this layer that we had just entered. So I'll just leave them as default, but in any scenario that this has not been picked, you can always, this is null, the native CRS is null. You can always come to the declared CRS and find the coordinate system. You can always search. For me, I was searching for the 326. You will select it and then reproject native to declared. So that is in scenarios where this has hasn't been picked automatically. So the next is the bounding boxes. I'm going to compute from data, and also the lat long bounding box, I'm going to compute from native bounds. So that said, you can see we have all is set up. It has automatically picked the column names. So I can just scroll down and just apply and then save these. So once this has been, so this is already telling me band already exists. So I'm just going to rename this to maybe bands. So just rename it, and I'm going to apply it again and save it. So we have successfully created the layer and published it. So the final thing is previewing the layer. Just go to layer preview, and I'm going to find the one that you have just created, and it was this. It was the bands. So I'm just going to open using open layers so that I can visualize it on the map. So this is how the data looks like. And of course, you can see that I can be able to see what this data has. So I expect when I click on any place here, any of these, I should get this attribute information, regarding the data. So that's how you guys publish data from PostGIS to GeoServer. And in my next video, we're going to look on how we can add styles to our preference in just using the default styles. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.